Formula 1 testing has just wrapped up and given us somewhat of an insight into where each team is at, except for Haas. And I've had this unique idea to give you my For this video, I'll be predicting where each driver will finish in the standings and a bold prediction for each one. I'll be going from last to first, so without further ado, in last place will be Gabriel Bortoleto. That Sauber was, well, something. Look, at least it turned up to testing. Bortoleto, being a rookie with very little F1 mileage compared to the other rookies, will be a huge struggle for the Brazilian, so anywhere other than last place will be a miracle. And unfortunately for Gabriel, he's on my fraud watch list for this season. Nothing personal, I just have some doubts about him, which is crazy from myself considering he's back-to-back F3 and F2 champion. In 19th, I'm placing Nico Hülkenberg there. I really have no hope in that Sauber at all and think that not even the Hulk will be able to manage to drag it out of the bottom two. I don't know what was worse, the car performance or how we all got catfished by that livery. We saw last year how even a driver of Valtteri Bottas quality could not score a single point for Sauber. I do reckon though that Hülkenberg will score points in that tractor and will also demolish Bortoleto in qualifying. Now for 18th, which is where I think Isaac Hadjar will finish. Now let me start by saying wowzers, that RB livery is a stunner. Unfortunately though, I have little faith in its car performance. I do think Hadjar will struggle a lot this year as a rookie, which is mainly down to car performance, but also because I see Isaac as a driver who needs to be given time to really get to grips with Formula 1, similar to his teammate Yuki Tsunoda. I expect we'll see a lot of crashes and spins from the Frenchman, but kinda out of nowhere I can see him getting a big points haul like a P7 at Singapore. In 17th, I reckon it'll be Jack Doohan. Now I will go out and say this is the toughest prediction on the whole entire grid, purely because he's allegedly not got a contract for the entire 2025 season, and with all the talk coming from Alpine over the winter, as well as signing a gazillion reserve drivers, it just sadly seems like he will be replaced at one point for Mr. Colapinto. However, my bold prediction for Doohan is that he will last the entire season at Alpine, which in itself is an absolutely insane thing to have to predict. But here we are. I'm a big fan of Doohan and I think he's actually a great driver. So if Jack did complete the whole season, then I'd expect him to be higher up the standings than 17th. So I am just one massive contradiction. Now in 16th, I reckon it will be Yuki Tsunoda. Now you're all probably wondering why I've got him so low, as I don't think anyone would predict Yuki to finish this far back, but hear me out. I think that RB didn't look good at all in testing and the other midfield cars were miles clear, so I just simply think that the Haas, Williams, Aston Martin and Alpine will be just too fast for Tsunoda to contend with. My bold prediction for Tsunoda is that he and Hadjar will crash at one point in the season. 15th. Where I've got Lance Stroll to finish. The Aston Martin didn't look fantastic in testing, and with Stroll looking more bored of the sport with each passing day, I don't have the highest expectations for him. Despite what everyone seems to think, Adrian Newey's magic wouldn't have been worked onto this car, so I think Aston Martin will be putting all their eggs into 2026 over this season. I reckon Stroll will just randomly qualify his car into the top 5 somewhere this season. For 14th, I've got Oliver Bearman there. With Toyota behind them, Haas are on the up this year, and Ollie will have a strong season, showing how he'll be the best rookie outside of Lawson and Antonelli. I predict Bearman will score at least 40 points this season. You might not think that's very bold of me to predict, but Hülkenberg scored 41 last year and Pierre Gasly had 42, so for rookie Bearman to do that, I'd say is bold. In 13th will be Alex Albon. The Thai driver will be one to watch this year. Albon's finally got a competitive teammate after years of, well, not the quickest drivers exactly. The Williams look like a rocket in Bahrain, so if they can keep that up, then this prediction will look silly. I think Albon will get showed up this year and pressure could start to mount on him as Sainz becomes the team's #1 driver. For 12th, I think will be Esteban Ocon. I've just mentioned how the Toyota partnership with Haas will thrive and I expect this year to be one of Haas' best. Ocon has been one of the more underrated drivers of the past few years, so I think he will flourish for the American outfit. My bold prediction is that he'll lap an Alpine in a race this year. In 11th place will be Fernando Alonso. As worrying as that Aston Martin looks, I still back Fernando to drag it up the order and finish this high up, which if you were to say after 2023 is insane. Alonso is just inevitable. My bold prediction for him is that he'll be told he's finished, he's washed, he's past it, he needs to retire, and then he'll respond to it with a mega performance at the following race. Now going into the top 10, so in 10th place I think will be Carlos Sainz. When this inevitably happens, it will be Williams' best performance in the Drivers' Championship since 2016. Sainz looked like prime Michael Schumacher in testing, so this prediction is solely off that. I reckon at one point this year he'll qualify that Williams inside the top 3. In 9th will be Pierre Gasly. For the second year in a row, I am so sure that the Frenchman will finish in the top 10. It'll be a much different season at Alpine for Gasly, as we don't really know who his teammate will be, but he will be the number 1 driver. My bold prediction is that we'll see Crashgate 2.0 this year. With Flavio Briatore back at the Enstone team, this is totally possible. But with all jokes aside, I do reckon Gasly will achieve a podium for the 3rd year running at Alpine. Now entering the big 4 teams, and in 8th place I'm sure will be Andrea Kimi Antonelli. I have full confidence in Antonelli being a world champion one day, but I don't see him replicating a 2007 Lewis Hamilton this year. I do reckon Antonelli will spin and crash a lot this year and be similar to Verstappen early in his F1 career. I was instantly impressed with his esports racing lines and testing, so I think this year he'll achieve at least 6 podiums, which may not sound like many, but that is the exact same number that Oscar Piastri managed last year. In 7th will be Liam Lawson. Unlike most people, I've backed the Kiwi driver to finish ahead of Antonelli this year. I think I've let it be known that I'm a huge fan of Lawson, so this year I am sure he'll be demonstrating his talent in the Red Bull. He'll show everyone why Red Bull were right to promote him over Tsunoda and be the best second Red Bull driver since 2018. So my bold prediction for Liam is that he'll score at least 5 podiums and silence the critics. Now for 6th place, where I've got George Russell to finish there. This may seem like a little rogue, as the Mercedes did look like the second quickest in testing. However, I have lost faith in Mercedes since the new regulations came in, and I don't think they'll be able to maintain that pace throughout a whole season anymore. I think Russell will manage to take home a minimum of 4 wins this year, and to further grind Verstappen's gears as well. In 5th will be Lewis Hamilton. This may come as a shock to everyone, as, well, he is a 7-time world champion, but I don't know. Maybe it'll be stupid to rank him below these other drivers, but I'm not so convinced he'll blow everyone out of the water in his first year at Maranello. I think he'll get at least 5 wins this year. Now in 4th, I think will be Oscar Piastri. Again, this may look stupid as the McLaren looked like the speed of light in testing, but after 2024, I can't rely on McLaren to be dominant. I think again, Piastri will struggle to stay consistent compared to Norris over the course of the whole season, and I don't think he'll settle for a number 2 role at the team this year until it's much later in the year. My bold prediction, which now coming to think of it isn't so bold, is that he'll drastically improve his qualifying form, but still won't beat Lando in the overall head-to-head. On to the big 3 now. So in 3rd place is the driver from Monaco, Charles Leclerc. I'm very confident that he'll get the better of his teammate Hamilton this year, but eventually will fall short of the title. Nothing against his quality of driving, I just don't have faith in Ferrari to keep up the pace for every single race this year, which realistically is what you need to win the World Championship. Now as runner-up, I think will be Lando Norris. Yet again, I think Lando will fall short of the title. I just don't see him and McLaren being able to combine for a World Drivers' Championship this year, especially after 2024. But that being said, he did still take a massive leap forwards last year and did dominate a few races that he won, which are signs of world champion quality. I am confident though that I will not be wrong and that he will not win the title. Mark my words. So my bold prediction is that he'll encounter the same problems as he did in 2024, which again isn't very bold, but he is the bookies' favourite to win the championship, so kinda technically this is bold, okay? So that leaves the champion to be, yet again, Max Verstappen. I just think he is inevitable. For the majority of last season, the odds were against Verstappen, but he still managed to pull through, quite often in questionable ways, but he still did. Yes, I can see the Red Bull does look a bit of a dog from testing, but I believe this won't stop Max and Red Bull will step up throughout the year. I think the most likely thing to stop Verstappen this year is a race ban, which he isn't too far away from, as he currently has 8 points, 4 away from a ban. And my bold prediction for the Dutch driver is that he will make at least 5 threats throughout the year to leave or even retire. That has been my 2025 F1 predictions. As always, every single one will be correct, but do leave a comment on where you think I may have gone slightly wrong. And I do read every single comment, so I will see some of your horrific shouts. I am absolutely mind blown. In my last video, I asked if I could gain just a few more subscribers so that I could hit 100 subs. Well, I've now just hit 300, so I genuinely cannot thank each and every one of you enough. This means everything to me. Thank you. As I'm editing this, I've actually just hit 400 subscribers. So, I mean, like, I don't know what to say. Thank you so much, everyone. This is actually insane. I have read all the comments regarding how quiet my audio has been, so I have tried to change that, and hopefully I'm not causing all your ears to bleed. So please subscribe and leave a like, and I'll see you all later.